Welcome, Enid, to another city update. My name is Larissa Sloan, Communications Assistant, and with me today is Scott Morris, and this is the Assistant City Manager, as well as Mike Honigsberg. And so the intention of today is to bring you a little bit in-depth information on what exactly he does, and he's the one behind the Garfield County Emergency Management app that we talk about all the time. So first of all, I just want to say thank you for joining us today, and that hopefully we can give the viewers some information, a little bit, more information than what they would normally have. And so, but first, I'd like to ask, how was your weekend?
My weekend was fine. I'm just enjoying the cooler weather.
Me too. So you had something that you went to.
Yeah, I actually took a vacation day and went out to Call Lake on Friday, did some fishing, rode some jet skis, and then Saturday went out to Breckenridge. They had a block party and watched their fireworks display with my parents and family and had a great time. It's a good weekend.
Saturday, I didn't necessarily enjoy that day. It was a scorcher. I stayed inside as much as possible, but Sunday I was able to get out and mow my yard and do a lot of around the house stuff. And so
Sunday morning we woke up and my wife and I, we were like, it feels like a fall morning. Mm-hmm. It was really crisp and just felt wonderful.
Sit outside with your coffee. Absolutely. Well, without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. And so we have a lot of information for you, and so a lot of information about what exactly is going on here in this office. I just think this background is amazing. And so the library has a lot of cool things going on in the summer. One of the cool things that they do is called the Lunch Bunch. And if you're not familiar with that, then I'm going to give you a little tidbit of information, but you can find out more information on their website. But Lunch Bunch is a program that is sponsored by Loaves and Fishes and the Regional Food Bank. And so they provide free lunches for children 18 and younger. And so you can come. Let me tell you the information. It's from July 1st to August 19th, and it's Monday through Friday, and it's from 12 to 1. And you just go to the library, and they will give you all the information that you need, or you can go to their website, which is enid.okpls.org, and you can get all the information there so that you can ensure that you have meals. And so I just think that's a phenomenal program. And so they have a lot of other things going on during the summer, and so you can get those events as well on that website. They have a calendar that you can print off too, and so you don't want to miss out on that. But for right now, we're just going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about like the weather and the heat and what to expect and some things to stay prepared and hydrated and stuff like that. And so I'm going to let Mike take over the show with some fire prevention and some heat safety and the app and just all these kind of cool things.
Okay. Well, first of all, I am the emergency manager for the city of Enid and for Garfield County. I'm also the fire chief with Hillsdale Carrier Fire District. So I'm pretty active in a lot of different things, and I'm just really happy to have this job with the city because it gives me the time to get the training and the continuing education that I have to help support operations here in the city in the event something really bad happens. Part of my job is weather related. If the storm sirens go off, it's my fault. So, that's just kind of the way it goes. And but we test the sirens. We'll just start with that. We test the sirens on a 3-minute sound off on the first Monday of each month. And then on the subsequent Mondays, we just do a voice test. I've had a lot of people make comments as it's weird hearing your voice over the air here in town. We weren't expecting that, and I said I'm everywhere. So we have a good time with that sometimes. I wasn't going to say this, but I would really like to scare the kids on Halloween with that system, but I'm close to retirement, so I don't want to lose all that. So figure we have a little fun with that a little there. But now on the fire weather stuff, we go through different periods of drought and this kind of thing and very dry weather. And it's very important that everybody understand that when there's fires out and around in the county, or even here in town as far as that goes, you know, the situation can be really dangerous. And we don't want people to, you know, drive in and get in the way of responders. That's very important that you not do that. During these real dry times, the Department of Forestry gives us good fire weather information so that we can plan our responses in the event something, you know, actually does happen. We've been really lucky with all the wind that we've had this year that we haven't had to, you know, go to a lot of fires. I mean, we've had plenty of grass fires out there and structure fires, but we haven't had the major range fires that we sometimes have, which is a good thing. And so, you know, those can be pretty dangerous. But there's been times that we've had, you know, really huge fires here in town, and Enid has called in a rural response because this is what we do. We do the wildland stuff, and we work really well together. All the rural departments work very well with Enid, and we're more than happy to come in and help because Enid comes out and helps us too. And it's great for mutual aid.
Mike, here's a question for you. July the 4th is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like every year, you know, during this time, people want to get out and be true Americans and pop off our own fireworks and things like that. And I know that the harvest is over, but there are still some dry fields out there that... Could you give us a little bit of information, or maybe it's a little too early to tell, but is it going to be a big concern, fireworks around those rural areas, and do you have any information you can give us on that?
Yes. Right now, we are very dry. We're in a severe drought right now. We were in an exceptional drought, which is a little bit worse, but we've dropped back because of some of the rain that we've had. It's illegal to bring fireworks into the city. Well, I think, you know, the fire marshal has probably already talked about that. It's also illegal to fire the fireworks on a county road or near a crop, especially a standing crop. We still have corn out there. I don't know about Milo or anything like that, but don't go out there on county roads and fire off your fireworks. Get a hold of a farmer who has already plowed his fields over. Get with them and get permission to go out there to fire off the fireworks. I can't say what the sheriff's deputies are going to do if they catch you out there and doing that, but the one thing I would want people to know is this. If you go out there and commit an illegal act and you actually set a fire, you know, if a fire gets going, just call 911, report where you are, and the response will come out there. We're not going to arrest you. We may give you the glare, you know, but we're going to put the fire out because, you know, you got to keep in mind, we don't want any homes catching on fire. You don't want to hurt cattle or, you know, any other livestock that are out there. And so just, if you're going to go out, do it right, get permission, and do it safely. We don't want anybody to get hurt either, because that happens every year. Somebody gets hurt, and we hate to see that because burns are really bad.
Thanks for letting me interrupt your spiel there, but
No,
I thought,
that's fine.
man, that's a great question. We're
It really
coming up
is.
on July 4th, and
Yeah.
everybody loves to shoot off fireworks.
Yep, that is great. What about the heat can you tell us that we should expect?
Well, I think everybody is well aware that we went from winter to summer to spring, and now we're back in summer again, and we're having a few days of spring. So, you know, Mother Nature doesn't quite know for sure what she's doing right at the moment, I don't think, but we all know the heat's coming back. As somebody who has suffered from heat exhaustion before, I want to warn everybody, even if you work outside, you may be what you call used to it. You're not really used to it. Your body is just acclimated to it to a point. You can still get very dehydrated, so it's important that you drink a lot of water, drink non-sugared drinks. Don't drink those energy drinks out there, but we want you to stay hydrated as best you can, because what you'll notice when you are suffering from heat exhaustion is you quit sweating. And if that happens, that's where you need to stop. So that's why we really try to encourage everybody, and especially me and anybody who works out in the heat as a firefighter and that kind of thing. We watch that very closely because it doesn't take long wearing heavy gear to really get dehydrated. So it's really important that you pay attention to that doing yard work or even out playing with the kids. You got to be careful out there and make sure your animals have fresh water and that kind of thing too, because they suffer from the heat too. And you don't want to leave them in a car. Just like how you're preached to about leaving kids in the car, don't leave your pets in the car either, because you turn the air conditioner off, it takes just a matter of minutes for the temperature to climb to 130, 140 degrees, and they'll die if that, if that occurs.
Well, they make these really cool thermometers that you can put in your car, and it'll tell you if it's too hot. I just think it's cool. It's like, it's
Too
so
hot for Spot.
comfortable.
Too hot for Spot, that's cool.
Yeah, too hot for Spot. That's what it's called. But you can get these probably on Amazon.
And just take breaks. It's good to take a break if you are doing something out in the middle of the day, and you can always go to the library during the hot part of the day for lunch and learn or for something like that. We provide to the citizens air conditioning spaces at the library and other places where you can go get out of the heat and go learn about something new.
Yep, that's true. So I know that we have the Garfield County Emergency Management app. Is there anything that you can tell us about that?
Well, I can tell you a lot of things about the app.
Well, do tell.
But let's talk about weather radios first.
Yes.
That was one thing I wanted to let everybody know. If you buy a weather radio, there's 7 frequencies in that radio, simply because if you have one here, you could move to Maine and still keep that same weather radio. All you need to do is find out what frequency NOAA weather radio is transmitting on in that area, and then program the radio to either channel 1 or through channel 7. If you're here in Garfield County, of course, if you're watching this, you probably are, channel 4 on your weather radio is what you should be tied to. That's the local county, actually it's region-wide, no weather radio frequency, so that's a good thing to have.
Well, I saw this book, and I think this is really cool. I'm going to read it just so I can be fully aware, but it's filled with all kinds of fun, cool information about the app. Can you tell us about that?
About the
Tell us
guide?
about what this book is for.
Back when I became an emergency manager, we had the McReady program. That was a statewide program that we did during Preparedness Week. And when they quit doing the McReady program, I took the guide from that and completely rewrote it. Some of the stuff was antiquated information, and so we updated that. And the guys out there at Advanced Emergency Management back in the day worked with me on this, and that's what this guide is all about. And we just modify a few things, each year with it, but there's a lot of good information about our app in there too, a lot of good preparedness information. And, the one thing I think people need to just understand is being prepared is not difficult. It isn't difficult at all. It's just a matter of being in that state of readiness in the event something happens. And it's not just weather. I talk about in our spotter classes, because I do spotter training for the National Weather Service too, but I talk about being prepared. You don't leave home in the morning and not think you're going to have a wreck. Well, what if you have a wreck? What are you going to do? When you get to work, what if there's a fire in the building? You weren't expecting that either. Preparedness. You should have a plan for anything and everything that you're going to do, and especially at home, and especially if you have a family, with kids running around, because they're going to be looking at you and how you react to whatever might be happening. If you panic, they're going to panic. That's why I don't watch TV weather. So
It's the Boy Scout motto, be prepared.
There you go.
And that was called the McReady?
It was called the McReady program.
Can
Yes.
I have fries with that?
You probably could back in the day. You go in there and grab a guide and get some fries. I mean,
That's funny. Oh my goodness. That was
Oh,
so
that's
cute.
my bad dad joke, sorry.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But no, it's really a lot of good information. And on our Garfield County EM app, all this information is in there too. There's even places in there. For instance, there's a Where Am I? Whatever you call those things, icon, I guess it is, I'm sorry, where if you're out there somewhere and you're not sure where you are, just tap Where Am I, and it should coordinate or calibrate where you are and give you latitude and longitude. So if you need help or whatever, you can call 911 and give them that information, and they'll send help to you. We utilize the app a lot on the latitude and longitude to bring in air ambulances and stuff for highway accidents and that kind of thing too, to help bring them directly to us without having them have to search for us all the time, which is a good thing. So anyway, the app has a lot of great uses and a lot of good information in there too. So,
Well, and you can download this. You said you can download this from the website as well as the app.
That's correct.
And so part of that is it has emergency phone numbers in it as well, so that you can have that beforehand, so that you can already have that in your possession to be able to just grab it, and you'll already be prepared for that. And so there's nothing wrong with having, you know, yourself ready for anything. That way you're not scrambling. So
Yeah, we tell the folks out there that do controlled burns that don't call them in, I hand them one of those and show them where the phone numbers are. We just have them call that particular fire district phone number, let us know you're doing that, because when people see smoke and fire, they call 911, and now a response is sent. And that wouldn't have had to have occurred if they had just called in, they were doing a controlled burn. So, you know, again, the guide, the preparedness guide, the app, all these things are loaded with information that can help you be in that particular state of preparedness.
You know, one of the things that Mike does that I'm not sure, it kind of goes on behind the scenes that I really appreciate, some people don't know, is the coordination that happens in the background that you do between other counties, volunteer districts. And, you know, if there's some type of an event that happens, or even if there's a wildfire out to the west, you know, there's a lot of there's a conglomeration of people that get together to attack that resource, and Mike has a lot to do with helping in that coordination, and there's a lot of technology involved that's helpful for that. And
Yes.
I just want to appreciate all the efforts that you've put in connecting all of the different people that need to be involved when there's some type of an event.
Well, and you know, we have been really lucky here in Enid over the years that we haven't had a horrible disaster. I think the last really bad one that we had was the flood of '73, I believe it was. We lost 13 souls that particular night, and that was a bad deal. Then we've had a tornado hit up here in this area. You know, our office up here where a tornado hit, that's real good. But that was back, I think, in 2008. And we've had smaller tornadoes in and around the county, you know, since then. But if we were to ever take a major hit here in Enid, folks should not worry that we won't have enough help. We'll have plenty of help. It's already pre-done. You know, those agreements with the state, with other jurisdictions around us, other counties, other towns. It's just a matter, hopefully, that it doesn't happen, but if it does, we'll have plenty of responders in here to take care of that situation. And then state government will be here, FEMA will be here, and you know, help us get back on our feet again, because any major tornado hit is a bad deal, and especially worse if lives are lost. And this is why we really push the preparedness thing, because the more you know, the better you can prepare prior to the storm hitting or whatever it is. You know, the more likely chance that you'll get through it unscathed.
that's a great point for sure. Well, we had mentioned a little bit about the 4th of July, but I'd like to dig a little deeper in there. I know that it's this weekend, so happy 4th of July, you guys. And so I know I plan on coming out on Monday and taking part of the festivities at Meadow Lake. And so I know we've talked about it weeks prior, but because it's this week, I want to dig a little bit more. And so I was able to do an interview with Doug Newell, and he is actually he's the director of the
Director,
yes.
The Enid Symphony Orchestra.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so he was able to elaborate a little bit more on what their music, their pieces are going to be, and it's the Wild Wild West theme, and so that's going to be fun. And so it's going to be like a lot of different sounds that you've heard, some that you maybe not have heard. And so the cool thing is like it's going to be while the fireworks, so the fireworks are going to be playing with the symphony, and so I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But there's a lot of other things going on as well. And so we have the fishing derby.
4:30 a.m.
I know.
You need to get registered at 4:30 a.m.
Yes.
if you want to be at the fishing derby.
Yep. That's what I was going to say. The fishing derby is at 4:30.
I get up at 3. I'll call you.
Oh my goodness. So are you setting a timer for them?
Yeah.
You're willing to be their timer. Are you going to be there? Do you like to fish?
I love to fish, but no, I will not be there.
Oh, I see.
I have other obligations at that time.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be fishing, and so that's going to last until 11. And then we also have paddle boats, like all the normal stuff, like the paddle boats and the Kiwanis rides and things like that. There's going to be food trucks there. It's just going to be an all-day celebration. And so there's, like I said, there's going to be all kinds of stuff. There's going to be miniature golf and snow cones. And then at 5, their city is doing watermelon and water. And so that's going to be cool to keep you hydrated and stuff like that. And then at 8:30, the symphony will start. And so then about at dusk, the symphony will continue playing, and they will play to the fireworks. And from what I understand, that I learned from Doug today, there's only a few select symphonies that actually still play with the fireworks. And so I thought that was a really cool thing to learn about it. And so but I'm excited to get out there and just be, just celebrate, celebrate the nation. And so, but with that in mind, please remember that the city offices will not be open on Monday. So if you have any business that you need to do, then take care of that this week. And so you can also pay your water bill online. And so that won't be shut off, but the offices will be physically closed. And so, yeah. So just to throw that out there as a reminder. And so I think as far as the 4th goes, I think I covered that. I mean, that's pretty covered. Do you have anything?
Just looking forward to it. I love the 4th of July, and I know that I'll be out there. I'll be out there in the evening watching the fireworks, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I would look forward to the 4th too, but we'll unfortunately be out there probably putting out fires. So,
Oh,
so
no.
that's the way it works sometimes. So,
Sometimes, yeah.
but one last thing though on the graphics, I put graphics on my Facebook posts, every day, but also too, those same graphics are on the National Weather Service's website. If you read those graphics, it gives you a lot of real good information just by looking at the numbers or the way the graphics are done, without having to read through forecast information like I do every day. The graphics are really good from the National Weather Service offices all around the area here. So, check those out if you're ever in doubt. That I didn't know that was going to rhyme, but and you'll learn a lot more about the graphics and the weather and that kind of thing too.
Check that out. If you're ever in doubt, watch out for Mike Honigsberg. He's got a lot of clout. Oh.
Oh, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not getting in that rhyme section.
Okay.
I'm not good at it. But
that was not in the. There's no card held up for that.
no, not at all. So I know that we have spoken a little bit about fire safety, but I just want to elaborate a little bit more, or have you elaborate a little bit more about, it's not just fireworks that start fires. So what other kind of things can start fires with this extreme heat and drought?
Well, if you're outdoors, I mean, we, like I said earlier, we are in a severe drought, and so you want to be careful. If you're a welder, be careful, because it doesn't. We've already been out on several wildfires that were started by welders. They're out there working on metal fences and that kind of thing. That can happen. Electrical cords and stuff laying on the ground, if they short out, they'll cause a spark, and that's what will happen there. The wind whipping the power lines, especially the older ones out there, they'll eventually spark and start fires and that kind of thing. At home, just be careful again, even plugging in appliances. If it's an old appliance, those things can go anytime. Cause a spark, then you have a house fire. So it's just important to pay attention to what you're using. And if you have old extension cords, get rid of those, get some newer ones, because some of the old stuff people use are really bad. They really are. And they need to be the proper, type of cords that can be grounded when you plug them in.
I've heard, I don't know if it's true, but it seems like I've read about some fires that have started along highways where people that smoke cigarettes might toss their butts out the window. Is that a thing where you can start a fire on the side of the highway?
It actually is true. When your dew points are low and your humidity is low, believe it or not, sparks from a cigarette will start a fire. I didn't really believe that years ago either until I actually saw it happen. And so, you know, again, humidity's got to be pretty low, dew point temperature's low, and throw that out there. It's a spark, and then, yes, you can have fires.
So take care of your own cigarette issues without throwing them out the window. That would be helpful.
Yeah, it'd be very, very helpful. Very
Yeah,
helpful.
they make butt cans. It's weird.
There used to be ashtrays in cars, but they took them out. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, so, yeah. But while we're on the heat and things like that, I know that we have some road closures that are happening. And so we just say, you know, with the heat and stuff, you know, it wouldn't even be a bad idea to try and offer them water if you have that time. But just be careful of the workers, you know, when we have closures and stuff, which I know that we have closures around. And that's only because the city of Enid is trying to better the streets that need the attention and stuff like that. And so
There's a lot of exciting projects that have been bid on and are going to be out working on soon. I know we're working on Leona Mitchell. We're working on several other areas. The bridge over by the hospital is finally being worked on after it's been designed and finished. They're going to be doing the summer Elm over by Emerson School, and then East Birch from 16th over at least to 20th Street, 23rd Street, that area over there. So there's a lot of great projects that are happening soon, and if you see those cones, just watch out.
yes, for sure, watch out. And while we're talking about weather and all of this stuff, so you post like the 7-day forecast
Yes.
and stuff like that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
what's the 7-day forecast?
Well-
The highs and lows, but
Highs and lows, that's another word.
one thing people need to understand, when these graphics go out in the morning, they will change during the day. You know, there's, just like for instance, there is a chance, and if you can see the radar picture here behind us, there is some rain going on in southern Kansas and the very extreme northern Oklahoma out in the northwest right now. That will affect our temperatures and that kind of thing. There's a possibility of rain this weekend, but it may change to where, I mean, we may be in another heat wave by this weekend. So, you know, the graphics are not set in stone when they're put out there. That's just based on the models and stuff at the time they created the graph. So just understand, check back often, and those graphics can, you know, help you make decisions in the long run.
And I know that we had talked about the heat, and so we just want to emphasize water, 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 lots of water. Especially in this heat, you probably need to drink more water than you normally would. They have like this jug challenge that you can do, that you mark on the jug, like you have to drink 8 ounce every hour, or you're supposed to drink a whole jug of water every day. Now I've tried that challenge, and I have a hard time with it, but I mean, I got halfway through it. And that's probably more than I drink in a day. So, but water, water, water. And so that is, I just want to say thank you for all the information that you've given us today. If there's anything else that you think of, then just throw it out there. But we are offering employment opportunities with the city of Enid. And so I just know that I love working for the city of Enid. It offers tons of benefits and great employees to work with, and so I just am very grateful. And if you're looking for a career, not just another job, this is definitely the place to get into. And so you can see some of the opportunities that we have available, and so you can go to enid.org/careers to read the descriptions of those. We will have some part-time and seasonal sporadically come through if those are a little bit more fitting for your schedule. And so definitely, if you're looking for a rewarding career, the city of Enid is the place to be. And so just keep trying and put that application in, because you just don't know what you can get if you don't try.
Now, I would encourage anyone that hasn't looked lately to be looking again, because we've taken care of some pay issues, and starting in July we've made some significant improvements to our pay structure. So if pay has held you back from applying for a job with the city of Enid, then I'd encourage you to look again after July and see what you see. Apply for a job.
Does that apply to employees now?
Starting in July.
Ooh.
Get a raise.
Nice. Well, I know that we have some upcoming meetings. And so we have a meeting next week on Thursday, because when we have a holiday, then we don't have our normal meeting, a commission meeting, on the 1st and 3rd. So our first meeting would be next week, but because we have 4th of July, they're going to have it on Thursday. And so that is it's July 7th. And so it's at the council chambers, and the study session is at 5, and the regular, or the commission meeting is at 6:30. And then we also have MAPC on the 18th, and that's at 6. And so you can go on the website and you can see what that agenda will be. And of course, we will talk about more about that next week as it gets closer to the date of the meeting. And so, unless you wanted to elaborate and give them a little heads up, like give them a little bit.
I think we'll save that
We'll
for
just
next
save it
week.
for next
There's
week?
a few
Okay.
other meetings that are probably going to happen next week too. Historical preservation.
Okay.
There'll be a Board of Adjustment meeting in July at
Sure.
some point. So there's a few other meetings, but we'll elaborate more next week.
But I do know something's happening tomorrow. Like they need to, something about them voting.
That's right.
Yes.
There is a statewide, and there's a city vote tomorrow. We've got county commissioners to vote for. There's quite a bit going on for primary voting in our federal and state, legislature. So there's a lot of different things to vote for. I've seen a sample ballot. I did not vote early, but there are a lot of names I didn't recognize. And so before you vote tomorrow, it might be a good idea to do a little research on what you need to vote for. But another local issue that we have is there's a vote for OG&E to be our electrical franchise again. And I think they've served our community very well. We have a great partnership with them. And I have to be neutral on what I tell you to vote, but please go out and vote tomorrow. The city has worked hard on this upcoming contract with OG&E. So I think it will be good for our community, and so get out there and vote, and love to see how that turns out.
Yep.
Well, as always, we have See-Click-Fix. And I think you do a great job of explaining See-Click-Fix, so will you do that again?
It's a fantastic avenue that people can be connected to what's going on in Enid. If you see an issue that needs to be worked out, you can take a picture of it, and from your phone right there it can know your location, and we can mark where that issue is that might need to be repaired. This time of year with the heat, there are additional things that can happen with the streets. There are some heaving that can occur in concrete. Even on I-35 a week or so ago, they had to shut down part of it because of a buckling in the highway. And so if you see an issue like that or a pothole, you can go onto that app. You can take a picture of it and show us where that location is. You can ask for rides on our public transportation. There are a lot of different things that you can do on that app. And when there are closures, you can even know when the closures are if you're on the See-Click-Fix app. Mm-hmm. So I would encourage you, like we've said multiple times before, if you haven't downloaded the app, you should.
And you can also download I'm never good with this, GCEM app as well. Like he has elaborated and Mike has elaborated and given us so much information today, and we hope that you have learned something. I know I certainly have. I did not realize all of that happens behind the scenes and everything like that. And so other than that, I don't have anything, but I want you to take a real good look at what happens. I just think this is so cool behind us. I am a weather lover, and I just think that it is so cool.
That's only one station.
That's only one station?
Yeah, we have these other ones around here too. So
Now,
when we have really bad severe weather coming, this room is full of people.
Really?
Yeah, of people that help us out in here. We have our spotter network out there, which is really cool. I mean, all of our spotters are emergency services folks.
Mm-hmm.
Rural Fire, Enid Police, Garfield County Sheriff, Highway Patrol helps us. And, just a lot of good, highly trained people to help protect our citizens. And that's what it's all about.
And my understanding, 2 of the best radars in the country right here in Oklahoma, in Norman and Vance Air Force Base, that help us with knowing what's going on in the area.
Yep, that's
Mike,
true.
do you get out there with Storm Chase?
No,
You don't?
no.
Oh,
There's a reason for that.
oh,
The county commissioners back in '99 got wind of what happened to me. The rear flanking downdraft of a storm up near Carrier, when they got hit, got me. And when they got wind of that, they put the cahootas to that real quick.
Oh.
So they said, you know, we've sent you to school for the weather stuff, and they said that we don't want you to get killed out in the field. So I said, okay. And I've been in here, I've been stuck inside ever since.
That seems
So-
like the storm that was like 113 mile an hour dime-sized stuff that took out a bunch of things in Lahoma, and there were like one sides of cars that were completely mashed in and the other side looked brand new.
Believe it or not, that
Yeah.
was a different storm.
oh.
So, I mean, it was...
Well, we're getting off topic.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. We could tell stories all day long, but
And I would
anyway,
sit here and I would listen because I like that kind of stuff.
there you go.
I like stories like
Well, we'll
that.
get together and talk about it sometime.
We can do that. Maybe on another show we
There you
we
go.
can consider doing that.
That'll work.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and we appreciate all of you that take the time, and whether you're watching this live or you're watching the recap, then we just want to say thank you. You can always catch what the City of Enid is doing and what we have going on by going to our social media platforms. You can go to Roku and Fire TV. You can watch us on the cable channel. I believe that's cable 12 or channel 12. And so you can catch us on YouTube and just all those different places. And so we just want to say thank you, and we hope that you learned something. And if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Our number is 616-7258. And my name is Larissa, and this is Scott, and this is Mike. And we are just signing off, and have a good day.